Hello, hello. I'm very pleased to be here with you to go through line 4 of gate 19, the gate of wanting, the gate of approach, and the fourth line is called the team player. This is my personality, Saturn. So when you come to the fourth line in the upper trigram, you get to clearly see the resonance with the first line, because the first line was all about interdependency or dependency. When you come to the resonance in the fourth line, you come to the power of the single-mindedness. This team player is fixed in its externalization of friendliness, and we're all in it together. We're finding that in this fourth line. The lifetime learning says individual approach which attracts and accepts cooperation. Think of the genetic continuity that lies between this team player in the 19-4 and the brotherhood sisterhood in that tribal 59-4. Yeah, both lines are friendly. We are. We can't help it. I mentioned before that I have 11 fourth lines. It's a transpersonal line. It's a line of friendship. Friendship is something that can come so naturally to the fourth line. It does depend on other factors in the chart, of course. And for me, it helps. I've got just channel of community. So there is automatically that feeling of sort of the friendship, the family built into all of my fours. They're all sort of working together in that sense. Perhaps if you've got a lot of individuality, then maybe you're not interested in all of those fours being in your design. The friendship angle is not something you really want to get into, and it's a push-pull between your individuality and this friendship or this fourth line networking that kind of pulls you out in a different way. So as always, with all of these, what's your chart say? What's your story? Because that's where it gets really interesting. It's great having this information about the different lines and the gates, but what does it do in your chart? How does it help you express your unique gloriousness in the world? Because that's really where the rubber meets the road, where it gets really, really interesting. But anyway, the fourth line of the 19. Okay, so the upper trigram, they know that there's a 49 at the other end of the channel. We're in the upper trigram now. So they're well aware of what's going on over there. Something is establishing the principles. There's a 49 that could reject them or accept them. And so the 19 starts using its flirtatious wiles to get to a 49 that will not only not reject them, but will actually fulfill their needs. Or a 49 who's attracted to their flirtation and whose principles they find they're able to live by. Bear's got the 49. The exaltation says the power and energy for outward activity and the ability to accept others as long as they can keep up. A driving force which can benefit the whole group. The energy to seek out and exalt in the company of others. These are driving forces. This is where will we get the resources? Come on, everybody, let's do it. These are the ones who can bring enormous energy to work or to, as an independent energy. They can, did I say independent? Interdependent energy. They bring their own as long as everyone else can keep up. That's the key thing with this particular line. This team player is important. They are the ones, they over them, we are the ones that make sure that everyone is participating, that everybody is brought some food. They make sure that they kind of pressurize everybody and get everybody else going. And quite frankly, we can be a pain in the neck because like all fourth lines, we can be very, very fixed in our need to externalize. And because of the friendliness, we kind of get into somebody's aura, and that's how we can pressurize them. And of course, that's not always welcome. We have to accept this part of it and not turn it into the other side of the friendliness, which we know is the meanness. So the detriment says attractive and cooperative, but a tendency to dissatisfaction with the contribution of others. A sensitivity energized by the limitation of others. So when you come to the other side here, what it's saying is they're dependent on me. This is not the first line that says I'm dependent on them. This is the other way around. This is they are dependent on me and I don't want them to be dependent on me. We're supposed to be all in this together. This is when the sensitivity can come out, a sensitivity energized by the limitation of others. Why should I do all the work? I don't mind working and doing my share, but I don't want to do yours. See, this is a fourth line. It's very fixed, remember. And the fourth line can work very hard. And you might not want to be stood next to a fourth line when they're working really hard in it, because they get fixed on what they're doing. And it might be very easy for that fourth line to put in 8 hours of hard work, and everyone else is standing around saying, "Can we have a coffee break now, please?" Or I just need to go to the loo, and they're off there reading their comic. Why? I have no idea. And the fourth line then can feel like other people are dependent on them to carry it. And then the other people are resenting the fourth lines for making them look bad. So it sort of gets quite messy and uncomfortable. If you look at the fourth lines, this can be a theme that goes throughout, really. The exaltation saying, well, I've got to work. And I've got to work with the other because the other is there. And this is a theme. We've heard this through so many fourth lines. The other is mentioned so frequently. And in this detriment side, we've got, okay, I've got to deal with all these people and they don't accept my fixed externalizing ways of doing things and they can't keep up with me and I'm not happy. And remember the wave of the fourth line, and it's particularly important here because we're dealing with a solar plexus channel. And that wave, of course, is kindness and meanness. So the grounding comes through the 33 and the fourth line of dignity, which is a wonderful quality to bring in to support the team player, whose flirting can sometimes get a little bit out of hand, seem a little bit desperate, whose neediness could become mean and turn people away, and whose sensitivity could be less than attractive. So bring on the dignity. Okay, Pluto today is moving into gate 41. Hurrah! At 7:55, so actually already gone in there. And to be fair, Pluto is Pluto is misspelt, and it should be Pluto, is still fanning around, which is a technical term. It's oscillating between 60 and 41. It stays in 41 until mid-August, and then it moves back to 60, and it stays there until December, at which time it transits into 41, and it stays there for quite a long while, taking us closer and closer to the closing of the door on our seven-centered heritage, opening the way into a new era, a new global cycle. So Pluto moving into 41 now has the potential to give us a taste of what is going to come our way in 2027. Pluto brings us the energy of transformation and empowerment. During a Pluto transit, we can experience change that impacts every area of our life. Because these transits do tend to be quite long. It is the slowest moving planet. So this could be a time of upheaval as we shed outdated versions of ourselves and begin to live a more authentic life, perhaps truly embracing our strategy and authority. So as well as a time of upheaval, it can also be a time of renewal. The moon is still in gate 49, so we still have some focus on the balance that can be found between our own needs and the needs of the tribe. Remember, we have the whole channel because of the sun being in gate 19. And then at 1334, the moon moves into the collective gate 30, the gate of the clinging fire, the gate of feelings. This is a solar plexus gate. The moon is taking us on a bit of an emotional journey right now. And the sun will be here in a couple of weeks, so we have the opportunity then to look a little bit deeper into this gate of desire. It's a gate that brings us the hunger for something else. We may not even know what it is, but my God, we yearn for it anyway. And the wave can move up and down because it wants its precious. We don't have it. And then we do have it, but it's not what we thought it would be. And we want something else. And the wave goes up and down, and the grass is always greener on the other side, especially if there's also the pressure coming up from gate 41 if you happen to have the channel here. So strategy and authority, very useful in helping to keep the emotional space clean and clear, regardless of any perceived outcomes. And next we move into the gate of spirit. This is the gate of abundance, gate 55. This is at 2304, individual circuit. It's the harmonic gate to the gate of provocation, the 39. And we know that melancholy is a feature of individuality. And here we also have an emotional gate. So there can be a truly deep low on this wave. As you've got melancholy, you've got the chemistry of melancholy overlaid with the chemistry of the wave. Yay. Remembering that this is just a chemistry is not always easy, especially if you are down on that wave, and especially if it's an unconscious activation. And it doesn't always help to have someone come along and say, you're just down on your wave, Bamaji, it's fine. Thank you. No, great. Really appreciate hearing that. Yes, the lesson for all emotional gates is holding whatever emotion comes lightly, because it is just weather. And the final moon gate for today, or today's report anyway, is gate 37 at 08:33 tomorrow morning. And again, emotional, this time tribal. And this is the gate of the family and friendliness, which are not necessarily two words that go naturally together. The 37 needs recognition through their family or community. And need is a word here that we use because it's in the same stream as our gate 19, and recognition because it's a projector gate. Gate 37 is very powerful in its ability to hold a family or a group or a community together. Yeah, they are natural nurturers. This is the mouse in terms of the biology. So it really wants people to make sure they've got food to put in their mouth. So you can see how it ties in beautifully with the stream of sensitivity coming up from the 19, providing the resources, providing the food. You've got the butcher there and the 49 putting the meat on the table, and then the 37 puts it in the mouse. Yeah, or not, I guess. Well, why not? Okay, there we go. Thank you. That was line 4 of gate 19. I will see you tomorrow for the 5th line. Until then, as always, yeah, go gently, love yourself, and yeah, enjoy gate 19 and the space of need, the space of wanting, and all of those things that it may or may not bring up for you. And it's fun to ponder these gates all the same. I'll see you tomorrow for the 5th line.